Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Renick. I'm the senior broker, the team lead with Team Renick Real Estate Services, part of that great Keller Williams on the Water, Sarasota family. We service the west coast of Florida, Sarasota, Bradenton, Lakewood Ranch, Venice, and of course, all the barrier islands. What I want to do, well, first of all, let me make the announcement. We started last week, Title Time with Mike and Mike, and we're taking a week away from that. One half of the Mike and Mike team is traveling internationally, and we weren't comfortable with the time change and technology that we'd be able to host a quality broadcast. And if we couldn't do it the right way, we don't want to do it. So I'm substituting today. I want to talk to something about a topic that's very important to me, and many of you may feel the same way, and that has to do with customer service. And no matter whether it's real estate or you're going to sit down for a nice dinner or you're in a retail store or you're buying a car or things like that, it really comes down to how do you make a difference with customer service? And that's what I'd like to share from the heart. But I'd like this to be a beginning. I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments as in the days and the weeks that we'll cover going forward, because that's where our model came from, is we learned to listen to the client. And we actually knew that for a long, long time, because your client will tell you the story. And see, it's not about us. You know, when you go out to a website, and this call's focused on real estate, but it could pertain to any field. If you go out and you look at a real estate agent's website, if it's all about them and they achieve this and they achieve that and I do this and I do that, that's the wrong approach in our opinion, and that's not the approach that we take. There's a little section on our website that talks about some of the accomplishments, because those validate that we're doing the right things, at least most of the time. But our website's about you, and it's about your journey. It's about what you're looking to do, and it provides the tools to help us understand. So that in the beginning, it's really, if you want to focus on customer service, you need to understand what your client's looking for. We work with both buyers and sellers, but each one we work with is different. So for example, a seller needs to sell something in 60 days because of a job transfer or something happened in the family. Our approach to meet that would be significantly different than a seller who wants to take the next 6 months, start at the top of the market and see where things go. With a buyer, same kind of thing. You can reverse it. I need to have a home purchase in 45 days because of a job transfer, whatever. I'm looking for a second home, so I'm not in a big hurry. It's all about starting there. Is providing good customer service easy? No, the formula is simple, but it's a lot of hard work. So you start with what the customer is looking for. Is customer service something that you can measure? Not easily. It's subjective. And to me, that's what I like about it. It's a challenge for each one. And that's the role that everywhere we go in terms of trying to get the good customer service. You know, I can share all kinds of horror cases, and so can you, in terms of what service is not all about. But what I'd rather focus on now is what we're learning and have learned and continue to practice with regards to what customer service is, and then ask you to share in the comments going forward what it means to you. So we start at the finish line. We understand the objectives. Where are we headed? Whether it's a purchase or it's a sale, we understand the objectives of the client like I shared. And when we know what the finish line is, then we can put a plan in place that will help us get there. That's number one. Your agent has to be able to do that in order to provide the level of service you're looking for. Now, the other thing that we do, and I share with my agents, is we're not looking to meet your customer service expectations. Our goal and objective right off the bat is to exceed them. And we work very hard to do that. You know, one simple thing is, you know, it's frustrating for me, and I think many of you can share in this, when you reach out to someone that you need information and you can't connect. And a day goes by, and 2 days goes by, and sometimes 3 days, and they still haven't called you back. Well, we don't believe in that. In fact, here, Eric and I provide our personal cell numbers. That way you don't have to go use the corporate number through the corporate system to reach us. And we're proud of the fact, and we advertise that we welcome calls from 7 in the morning until 10 p.m., 7 days a week. In our mind, we know how to read an org chart, and the client is the top of that chart. So can we take every call that comes in? Absolutely not. We may be tied up with another client. But as soon as we can break free we're on top of your call, returning it, understanding what the question is, and providing an answer. So when we start out, many people teach it's about level setting expectations. Let me share this. I was in a class in the last maybe 6 months where the instructor talked, it was a real estate customer service class, and the instructor talked about level setting expectations. Well, I believe that, but I believe it comes from the client to us. What she shared is that, sometimes when another buyer's agent shows a house, something gets moved around and maybe everything isn't put back perfect, and the seller needs to understand that. Absolutely not. That is not customer service. The seller owns that property, and even if I'm representing a buyer, when we go in there, we need to respect it, just like we're a guest in your home if we're friends outside of work. So that's not setting expectations, not in my mind. Another issue that I learned there is that that particular broker doesn't go to closings because that's not their job. Well, I don't get that because that's part of the finish line, and we participate in every physical closing. There's a lot of them that are virtual now. So I do believe in level setting expectations, but I believe it from the client to us, understanding what their expectations are. Now, if we can't meet those expectations or exceed them, I'll be honest right up front. If it's something we can't do, I'll be honest, and maybe we need to part ways at that point, but be friends. I'd rather not get engaged with someone where I'm going to fail because they don't want me to fail. They want us to succeed. And we need to understand what that finish line is and be very honest. If we can't, share that with them. But if we can, then we roll up our shirt sleeves and we go to work. So it's not really that difficult. The other thing is we need to be supported by technology. Clients today have every right to be demanding in terms of the service they expect. I am when I'm a buyer or seller, outside of real estate, when I'm doing something, I expect good service, and we need to leverage technology. And that's something here we're very, very good at. Both Eric and I have a strong IT background, and we leverage the latest tools. Now, I've been accused of being so enamored with technology, and people share it with me that, Mike, it's not technology that real estate is all about. It's about personal relationships. And you know something? They're right. But the technology that we use allows us more time to work on those relationships for people who are ready to raise their hand now. We'll get a client that comes into the database, and they may not be ready for 2 years. And we work very closely over that 2-year period with that client, but they're not ready to raise their hand and make a purchase or sale now. So we use our tools and us to reach out to meet their expectations. But because we can automate certain things like searches and stuff like that, and there's more, when you're ready to raise your hand and you need our personal time, it's available. So technology in today's real estate landscape is absolutely essential. And we do stay leading edge in terms of the tools that we use. Like next week, Eric and I will both be in California. I have the honor of speaking at one of the breakout sessions at the Tom Ferry Conference. Tom is one of the leading edge real estate coaches in the nation. As far as I'm concerned, he's the best of the best. I get an opportunity to go out there and share our story and share our approach. It doesn't mean real estate stops back here. Eric and I will have the cell phones available. We'll be engaging on Eastern time, even though that's West Coast time out there. There's a 3-hour difference. We'll still be doing our broadcast next week from California, so the 9 a.m. broadcast will be done at 6 a.m. their time, because we're still committed to bringing you information that helps your real estate decisions to be easier. Now, at Team Renick, we have 2 real estate brokers. We both are licensed real estate brokers, so we've gone farther than just the typical agent in terms of education and training to reach that level. But we're supported by the entire extended Keller Williams team, the best of the best, the large brokerage out there in the world globally, in many different ways that you can measure that. But the focus is Eric and myself. So you get 2 experienced, licensed, dedicated real estate brokers working for you. But when we need to reach out and we need help, we have the extended team, and they are fantastic. I can promise you that. The other thing with customer service is we have to tell the truth. Have you ever been in a meeting where you know the information you're being provided wasn't completely accurate? For me, that's very frustrating. And I see that far too often. So it's always being brutally honest. Even if a client asks a question and I know they don't want to they don't want to hear the answer, I ask up front, do I have your permission to be completely candid? And then I share the answer. If it's a bad news story with why a home hasn't sold, in terms of pricing, something came on the market that's priced $20,000 less, we talk about that. Now, no seller wants to hear that. I get that. I understand that. But if we don't share what's going on with the market, we're not doing our job. And that's part of the customer service, is always telling the truth. Customers, are they looking for perfection? I think the answer is no. But when you're honest, when you make a mistake, so first of all, what I teach and what we practice is when we make a mistake, we admit it. We own that mistake right up front. The second thing we do is we apologize for it. We fix it, and we take steps so it doesn't happen again. And I think the clients we work for are very appreciative of the fact, because nobody's perfect. Are we occasionally going to drop the ball? Yes. But no song and dance. And we've all been in situations where we've seen somebody dance around the truth. That's not customer service. At the end of the day, and then do we measure the results? Well, we have a testimonials page, and we're proud of that. And you'll find it in the website. It's not showcased right up front. But it's how we measure, did we fall short from a client expectation? And if we did, how do we fix that? So when we look at this, is customer service an easy topic to implement and exceed or succeed with? No, not at all. It's easy to understand the steps, starting at the finish line and working backwards, but it takes hard work every day. And here's something: if your agent isn't prepared, they'll never be great customer service. It's understanding the market. It's the due diligence. There was a time in my life I got to teach graduate school, and I could tell standing up in front of that lecture hall which of my students were prepared and which of the ones that weren't. Your agent, whether he's a seller, he or she is a seller, representing you as a seller, or on the buy side, they need to understand the market. Have they looked at the market from a broad perspective, maybe a city or a county-wide? Have they looked, and do they understand the market down to your neighborhood, whether it's a condo association or a subdivision? What's happening? Is it a buyer's market or a seller's market? If you don't know that as a licensed agent, you're not using all the tools available to exceed or succeed. That buyer or that seller that we're working with, and we're very committed to this at Team Renick, has objectives they're holding us accountable for. I like that. But we have to do the homework up front. If it's a buyer's market, we share strategies one way, depending what side of the table we're on. If it's a seller's market, we would share a different set of strategies. But if we don't know what that is, if we haven't done the due diligence and haven't done the homework to understand whether it's a buyer or seller's market, we can't provide the level of service that's expected. And even on the island, let's say Longboat Key, I can show you an area right now that it's a buyer's market, and I can show you a part of Longboat Key where it's a seller's market, and I can show you the data why. Because everything is driven by the information, the research, what's happening in the market. So when you put all this together, that's the recipe, but it's the focus. It's a relentless pursuit of customer service. And it's listening when we fall short to understand how we fell short. And it's fixing it and owning it right up front. That's what it's all about in terms of real estate. That's what it's all about in terms of other areas. When you work with us, we talk about that every day. We work hard. At the end of the day, we do a debriefing between Eric and myself of the things that went well with our clients that day and the things that maybe got a little bumpy that we should have worked a little harder or could work a little harder or need to do some work. So when you look through this is just a start of the conversation. I'd like to see your comments going forward. Let me see if I can put that up. There's our contact information. That's my personal cell. That way you can reach me 7 days a week. You can reach me when I'm out in California next week. You don't have to go through the corporate system in order to do that. That's my email address, and that's my website. Let us know how we can help you. Let's make this the beginning of the conversation, not the end. Let's make this a two-way exchange. The biggest thing about customer service is your agent needs to listen. Now, when we do these live Facebook broadcasts, it's one way. It's me talking. But what I'm sharing now is what we've learned from our interactions. We want to learn more, and you can help us do that. So again, thanks everyone. Wednesday, August 1st, boy, it's hard to believe. We're almost into fall or autumn. School will be starting pretty soon. I don't know where time flies. 7 months of 2018 are already behind us. We thank those of you that are engaged with us. Those of you that may not have, if there's something we can do to help, let me know. We don't press. Even if you just have questions and you're not a current buyer or a current seller, that's okay. Reach out to me. I guarantee you won't get a sales approach. I guarantee you won't get pressure to move forward. If we can help you with something, that's what we're all about. Take care, everyone. Have a great Wednesday. We're halfway to the weekend. I hope you have a super weekend. If there's anything we can do for you, my contact information is on the screen. Thank you for letting me be a part of these last few minutes of your life. Those of you that are watching live, and those of you that'll see the recording somewhere down the road. Give me your feedback. What does it take to exceed your expectations? That's the bar that we draw when we measure ourselves. Take care, everyone. We may have had a little technology glitch. Let me see. With the end broadcast doesn't seem to be working, but I'll shut down the browser if we have.